Hi, this is Josh Hollow. I'm pastor at City Hope Fellowship in downtown Muncie. And in Luke chapter 22, um, right before going to celebrate the Last Supper together, Jesus says this. um, I have been very eager to eat this Passover meal with you before my suffering begins. Jesus was very eager to eat with his disciples, to spend time with his disciples before going to the cross. And over the course of Lent, we as a church, Lent is a season that runs from Ash Wednesday to Easter. And this is a season as a church in which we want to spend time with Jesus. And so we are going to be spending time in the upper room with Jesus. The upper room is this place where they ate this meal. And in John chapter 14, or through John chapter 17, it records this time in which Jesus teaches intimately with his disciples. He wants to spend time with them, and he shares with them some of the most profound truths of what it means to follow Jesus. And so throughout this season, we want to spend time in the upper room with Jesus over the course of Lent. And we want to invite you to join us in the upper room. So, City Hope, we're inviting you to participate with us, as well as if you're part of another church and you'd like to participate and even adapt what we are doing to fit your context, that'd be great. Or if you're not a Christian and you are interested in Jesus, and if you are feeling weary about the world around you and want to engage in something, we'd invite you to join with us and even to talk to somebody about what that looks like, and process your journey with us. So throughout this season, there's a couple of things that we want to do. Lent is a time of both fasting and feasting. And so we want to engage in some fasting and in some feasting. The first thing we're going to do is take a social media fast as a church throughout the whole season of Lent. So this is the one thing that we're going to do the whole time. We're asking you to disengage from the algorithms that seek to divide and destroy in so many ways where we're at, and are so distracting to our lives. And so I'm going to ask you to take this time to disengage from social media. And as you disengage from social media, we actually want you to pray about the amount of time that you've spent on social media. How are you going to spend that differently? How are you going to spend time with the Lord? How are you going to spend time with people, your family, friends, your church family? And how are you going to spend that time serving your neighbors? Sometimes we can get in this place where we think that we are doing profound good through posting on social media, various things. That's not a bad thing, not a bad thing at all. However, it's not serving our neighbors in flesh and blood. That's the thing that God has called us to do. And so we want to take a break to serve. So that's one of the things that we're going to do kind of throughout the whole time. Then fasting is kind of hard. I struggle with fasting. And so what we want to do is actually give us an on-ramp into fasting. And so each week will look a little different. And because we believe that God has created us as embodied creatures, that we can connect with Jesus with our whole bodies, we want to fast and feast with our whole bodies. And so each week we'll have a different focus on one of our five senses. And for each week, we'll focus on one of those senses, and there will be a fasting element and a feasting element to each one. And we'll share a little video about kind of what the things are. But for instance, the first week is going to be smell. And for smell, we're going to fast from a good smell by doing some sort of unpleasant service to another person. So an example would be, if you're not the person that takes out the trash in your house, you're going to take out the trash. You're going to serve and maybe take a big whiff of something unpleasant, to fast from a good smell, to say, I'm going to serve another. We get this kind of from Jesus, right? He washes his disciples' feet, and that was a smelly job, and something that Jesus serves another person in, signifying the way in which we are going to serve one another. And then we're going to feast. When you spend time with the Lord that week, I want you to take a candle, a great smelling candle, and light it before you spend time with Jesus, so that you are feasting, smelling something pleasant as you connect with the Lord, reminding you that you are made in the image of God, and God made you with senses because he's good and creative and wonderful, and that we can experience God in so many ways as we spend time with him throughout this season. So we're going to kind of unpack these things as we go throughout. And so there's going to be a lot of information related to these devotionals and other things related to the passages that we're in and throughout this Lenten season on Sundays, as well as opportunities to share your own thoughts and reflections, all on our website, hopeformuncie.org. And so please, if you have questions or you want to participate in this, please feel free to tweak, change, do whatever you need to do to make this work. But don't do it alone. That's the part of this that is really important, is that we're doing this together, because doing it alone makes it really hard to commit to. And so we want to invite you to join us in the upper room with Jesus.